Today we're here in Brisbane, Australia, hosted by the Mint Group of Companies facility here in Archfield. First, I'd like to pass on a big thank you to Gary Radford for gracing us with his amazing studio once again. I've been very fortunate and lucky enough to spend quite some time over the past 12 months with today's guests, both here in Australia and in the US. Prior to today's episode, I reached out to a very well-respected rental industry figure and past colleague of today's guest, Kevin Innes from Atlas CA Group, to describe our guest's contribution to the rental industry in 3 words, those being dependable, tenacious and authentic, which I thought was a perfect summary. Thank you, Kev. It's an absolute pleasure and honour to be joined by the newly appointed National President of the Hire and Rental Industry Association of Australia, current Sales and Marketing Manager of Master Hire, one of the most well-respected, experienced and current leaders in the global rental industry, and all-round nice guy, Jeremy Shaw. Welcome on the podcast.
Thank you very much, Michael. Blown away by that introduction and those couple of kind words from Kevin as well. Congratulations as well to you, Michael, for your first hosting as the podcast, Rental Journal podcast. So looking forward to today.
No, thank you, Jeremy. We have a lot to cover with your extensive experience and achievements within the rental industry over the past decade. So I guess today we'll only just scrape the tip of the iceberg. But Jeremy, to kick us off, how did you first become involved in a journey so far in the equipment rental industry?
I wasn't quite born into it, but not far off it. In 1990, my uncle and aunt started Master Hire in Toowoomba, which is in regional Queensland. Started Master Hire from scratch. Had that for a couple of years, and they eventually asked my mum and dad to move from Brisbane to Toowoomba to go partners in Master Hire. So we packed up, left Brisbane, moved to Toowoomba, and mum and dad were half owners in Master Hire. I was probably only about 10 at the time, so not quite old enough to start working, but got pretty excited by seeing all the equipment Dad used to bring home on the back of his ute, and got to visit Dad at work often. So I guess I was always intrigued by the rental industry. So.
Sure, so like you said, you were kind of born into the industry with your father Peter starting very early into the start of the business, so it's very hard to escape work talk in a family business, which we've both experienced.
Yes.
So was your plan through your teenage years to go into Master Hire? I know you did a university degree.
Not specifically. I can't say I was at high school. I was thinking, yes, it's definitely what I want to do as soon as I finish. I always wanted to do a business degree. Dad had done it, and I think it was going to open up a lot of opportunities. I did a Bachelor of Business, majored in marketing, so I did have a plan to, get into marketing in some space. So when I finished all that in Toowoomba, I actually moved to Brisbane to be closer to my girlfriend, now wife, Hannah. And so I was applying for a number of roles in the marketing space. Had a few interviews, but the one that stuck was with a company called All Light. Not in a marketing space, but as a sales rep. So when I was 20, I started there. Did that for about a year. All Light was eventually acquired by National Hire, I think back in 2004. And landscape changed a little bit for me, so I wanted to move on and just try something different. So I ended up moving on to Conplant, a successful family-owned business as well, and was a sales rep at Conplant, covering southeast Queensland for 5 years, and then came on to become Queensland sales manager. So that's actually where I started to work with Kev Innes, where we obviously formed our close bond, and it taught me a thing or two back in the early days. So that was my time at Conplant. And then in 2014, a marketing manager opportunity came up at Master Hire. So might have been Dad's way of dangling a carrot to get me to come back to the family business. It worked, and so I've been at Master Hire again since 2014.
Yeah, definitely got sucked back into the family business eventually.
Yes, absolutely. I think it was always his plan. So yeah.
No, very good. Jeremy, we've actually both been lucky enough to participate in the International Rental Business Leadership Exchange Program in the US with the American Rental Association. We'd love to hear about your experience in 2017 with Bunce Rentals in Tacoma, Washington,
Yes.
and the American rental shows you've attended, and also the young professional events along the last couple of years.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll start with the rental exchange program. So yeah, it was always something that I wanted to do. Being involved in the association for a number of years, always thought it was just a great experience. So in 2017, when the applications came out, I asked my boss at the time if he wouldn't mind me applying for it, and he was very supportive of it. So it was successful with that. I remember when James Oxenham called me and said, "Congratulations, you're going to Tacoma, Washington." I had to jump on Google Maps and look up where it was. As you mentioned, the Bunce Rental company. So ended up living with the Blithedales, Mike and Leslie, for 2.5 weeks. It was an amazing experience. So got to experience all their different rental operations, their general rental, medical rental, and party hire as well. Also attended a trade show. It was over in the northwest of the States. And weekends just got to watch a basketball game with them. We explored Seattle. Just had an amazing experience with the family. At the end of my 2.5 weeks with Bunce Rentals, the final piece of the trip was a young professionals conference, and that was over in Washington, DC. So flew across the country with Mike and Leslie's son, Sean, and we attended the 2-day conference, which is brilliant. So great keynote speakers, networking events. Remember a river cruise on the river there, seeing all the monuments of DC. It was experience I'll never forget. So that was fantastic. And the young professionals events, over the years. I'd never actually completed the Young Professionals program in Australia. I think it was launched, a couple of years after I'd done the trip, but certainly have attended many events. And I think it's great. It gets better every year, whether it's at the convention or just regular events and catch-ups. I think just growing our young people and helping them, learn, tricks of the trade in the rental industry.
Yeah, it's great to see that relationship that you made with Mike and Leslie this year, catching up with them at the 2023 HRIA show and getting to see that relationship you built after even the last 5 years. Catching up with them again at the show was really good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we've become just great friends, sending birthday cards and gifts, across the world. And I've been lucky enough to catch up with them a few times at various trips to the US. Looking forward to seeing them again soon. So.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience and very unique as well to gain that experience in a different business, external from yourselves in another country. And then, like you said, seeing the monuments, seeing all those places in, I guess, places you've always dreamt of seeing as well. So it's an amazing experience. Yeah. Jeremy, Master Hire being one of the most respected and well-recognised equipment hire companies here in Australia, providing and supplying to now Queensland and down the East Coast, winning Hire Company of the Year in 2019, and also congratulations on recently celebrating your 33rd year in business. I'd love to start on an origin, the history and evolution of Master Hire and what people see it as today.
Yeah, thank you. As I mentioned earlier, started in 1990. So still a family-owned business to this day. Uncle and aunt aren't in the business, but my dad and his business partner Scott and his wife are the owners of Master Hire. Over the 33 years, we've been to many different locations around the place. We've currently got eight stores and around 100 staff. And have everything from your builders tools, compressors, generators, traffic management, toilets, site offices, etc. Have a very wide range of equipment and supply a lot of different customer types. Your mums and dads, home handy people, trade contractors, government department, tier 1 and 2 contractors, etc. So definitely keeps us on our toes.
So originally starting in Toowoomba and then expanding in Queensland, now into New South Wales as well?
That's right, yeah. So, regional Queensland and Toowoomba, and then into Dalby, and Brisbane, Sunshine Coast. We've also had locations previously in Western Queensland, Central Queensland, and down into Coffs Harbour as well. So, yeah, got a bit of a wide footprint.
No, absolutely. I'd say over the last 3 decades of Master Hire, you've had some amazing people and amazing team members in the business. What do you see as the biggest factors that have contributed to the success of Master Hire over, now 33 years in business here in Australia?
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. Definitely our people. With equipment rental, we're often hiring out the same sort of equipment, often the same brands of equipment. So really, the telling factor is the people that you have. How you train them, how you nurture them, support them, and just their commitment to finding solutions for our customers. It's been incredible. We've so many stories of some great success stories. Pulling rabbits out of hats on Friday afternoon, late night calls, etc. And it's just giving our customers a reason to come back. So our people is our biggest asset.
So you've definitely kept that family approach, even with your expansion to now 8 rental stores, quite a large business, but still kept that family values and that family business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our directors really make a point of getting to visit all the branches as often as they can, getting to know the people, their families, and it just works really well for us. It is a great place to work. I know I am biased, but I certainly get feedback from other team members, and they love coming to work.
I guess a burning question that people always have in the rental industry is in regards to growth, expansion, and the what's next question for the future. Where do you see the future of Master Hire now for the next 33 years? I know your son's only 12. Is he considering coming through as the 3rd generation of the business?
Possibly. That would be pretty cool. See how he goes in his soccer career first. But no, look, and I'm certainly not the one with the purse strings to make all those decisions. But I think it'll be driven by our customers. What our customers are asking for, whether that's new locations, different equipment. Obviously, there's no doubt the technology in the equipment space continues to evolve, whether it's with emissions or alternative power sources. So I think we'll largely be driven by customer demand. Obviously you can be an early adopter and bring in a whole heap of equipment, but if, no one's going to rent it, you're sort of, shooting yourself in the foot. So, I think, it's going to be an exciting place. Certainly the next couple of years, I think, and we're pretty fortunate in Southeast Queensland with the Olympics coming up in 2032. A lot of infrastructure's got to be built for that. So, we're looking forward to, supplying as many customers as we can over the next few years.
No, it's great to see your approach to very much relying on that customer base to see the future of your business.
Yeah.
For sure. Jeremy, firstly, congratulations on recently being named the new National President of the HRIA, taking over from a very successful Mark Burton from Barossa Valley Hire. Yourself being a past HRIA Queensland President and being in the 2017 International Rental Business Leadership Exchange Program, and like we said, Master Hire winning Hire Company of the Year. Both yourself and Master Hire have had a lot of success in the industry and extremely accomplished in the industry as well. How do you see the involvement of the association being a massive role player in your personal success and the success of Master Hire?
Yeah, great question. I think early on when I was asked by Kev Ennis to actually join the Hire and Rental Queensland Committee, I think that was back in 2007. I think sitting at the table of the committee meetings that we used to have, and then when I was asked to be Queensland President, so sitting at the National Board meetings that we used to have, and listening to the questions that some of the other national presidents would ask, Phil Newby, who was the CEO at the time, and other members there, in terms of drilling down to financial statements, understanding where the association was headed, what the strategy was. I think that was all just great experience for me to soak in. I think running state meetings, you've obviously done it one or two times recently as well, so you know what it's like. But organising speakers and catering and all that stuff, it's I think just helps you in your career just to organise things a bit better. So I think it's had a big influence in my career. So yeah, very fortunate.
You've obviously had a lot of this experience very early into your career and at a very young age. And obviously, national president is a huge role to cover Australia. What do you see as the national presidency meaning to you going forwards?
Yeah, great question. Certainly extremely humbled and honoured to when James called last year to ask me to consider it. I was recalling, you've known many of the last few national presidents very well, from Neil Wallace, Mark Scarce, Jeff Bernard, Mark Burton, all very successful business owners, directors, and just all around really good people. So I've got big shoes to fill. I'm turn 40 next month, so not sure how I found myself in this situation, but really humbled for it, and I'll absolutely give it my best. Go over the next few years as long as they'll have me. So really looking forward to it.
I'm sure they'll keep you around as long as they can, Jeremy. That's for sure. It's an exciting announcement that next year the HRIA show, HRIA 24, will be hosted here in Queensland, in our home state, from the 4th to the 6th of June. I'm sure you're just as excited as I am for the HRIA show being here in Brisbane.
Absolutely. No, as you mentioned, June next year. So looking forward to everyone flying up to Queensland for the winter. No, we just had such great success in Sydney. It was a record show, record number of exhibitors and attendees. So looking forward to hopefully getting close to that in terms of numbers for Brisbane. I know the national office has already lots of hard work, plenty of meetings in preparation for it. As you mentioned, it's our home state, so I think we both really want to make sure it's a successful one.
We've got to bring it back to New South Wales and beat them in numbers, that's for sure.
Absolutely,
so
yep.
We'd love to hear about your new emerging membership offerings and your strategic plan that I know that the National Office put in place, and an update on the programs as well for this year, starting off the young professionals, the women in hire, the HATS program. Going forward for 2023.
Yeah, awesome. So you touched on the strategy. So we've the Hire Association and EWPA put forward a 5-year strategy. It was all done last year, just prior to me starting. So I can't claim it that I helped develop it, but I'm looking forward to seeing it roll out. There's quite a bit of information in that, and we do as a board cross-reference ourselves against the strategy when we catch up to make sure we're on track with that. And some of those member programs you mentioned, so young professionals and women in hire, I think they've just commenced their module 1 just recently actually, and pretty proud to say I think we've got about 90 mentees and just over 60 mentors this year. So I think that's actually a record as well. So that's pretty exciting, I think. So those 90 mentees, that's across the women in hire and the young professionals. Both great programs, sort of run by Aileen and Strategic Alignment Training. The modules that they cover, pretty exciting for those people doing that. And whether that's just with business acumen and being more courageous and getting themselves out there, networking and better writing skills, etc. So some brilliant things, and I guess I wished I could have probably gone through that, 15 years ago. I think it would have helped me even more in my career. And then the HATS program you mentioned, so that's the apprenticeship and trainee scheme. So that's a pretty cool program, just launched last year in New South Wales. So the people who complete that will actually get a Certificate 3 in business, and it's actually tailored for the hire industry. So you could just go to TAFE or uni and just do a Cert 3 in business, and but this one's actually tailored for the hire industry. So there's not too many, industries I think out there that you can actually get a formal certificate for completing a course like that. So really keen to see that roll out to other parts of Australia and continue to grow.
Yeah, I'm obviously quite biased with my recommendations of both being in the HATS and the Young Professional program, and now in the Young Professional Network. It's an amazing way for new people or young people entering our industry to connect with other young people and to gain a mentor. Like my mentor, Mick McGarry, having decades of experience in our industry. It's an invaluable program and such an amazing part of our association. So I really could not recommend it more, and seeing a lot of success with people like Tom Wood winning this year, speaking extremely well at the HRIA show and everything like that. So I think it's going to be a program that will continue to grow and continue to provide so many people so many opportunities. Jeremy, being National President, for new members and prospective future members, what do you have some recommendations for new members to access the events, industry connections as they access our association?
Particularly for new members joining, I think the first thing I would do would be to encourage them to log into the website and to the member portal and actually have a proper look through all the resources that are there. It's actually incredible, from master agreements, terms and conditions. There's the HR and legal advice, the hire insurance brokers there, the training and education, whether it's trainer responsibility, load restraint. It's incredible what's already there and contained as part of your member package. And even for existing members, again, I just encourage them, if they don't remember their login details, call the national office, get on it and just dive in there and really see what's there. In terms of the networking and the meetings and that we have, the convention, networking isn't for everyone. Not everyone enjoys that social aspect. So if you find yourself, as a business owner or manager and you don't enjoy that, find someone in your organisation that does and send them along. Encourage them to come. Many of the meetings that we have are free of charge to come. Others have a small fee, but I think just the relationships that you can build at those meetings, whether it's with suppliers, whether it's with other rental companies, and just expanding your horizons, I suppose. Absolutely encourage everyone to do that.
Yeah, I think those resources are invaluable, especially for from our perspective as a small family business. We don't have internal HR departments, and when we were first starting out, I know Mum and Dad had an extreme amount of help from the association with those resources and really helped them, really come across and provide them with such valuable tools to continue our business growing and going forward. So, Jeremy, an amazing part of the culture that our industry offers is the prioritisation of mentoring opportunities, like we've said, for young people in the industry. We did mention Kev Innes earlier, who you've worked with alongside at Conplant, and I'm sure you've had amazing working connections and a lot of mentors throughout your career. Who have been some mentors to yourself in your career in the industry?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, look, Kev Innes is certainly up there for me from a sales front. He'll probably claim it, but he did actually teach me a lot of things in my sales career. It was pretty hard on me when I was working directly for him, but I think he was just wanting me to be the best that I could be successful for myself and also for the company. So Kevin is definitely one. Tony Crane would be another one. I've never worked directly with Tony in a business sense, but through the association, I had a lot to do with him, and attended career expos with Tony. Plenty of board meetings, committee meetings, and he's just a really good person to bounce ideas off, so yeah, he was one. And then, don't want to sound too cliche here, but my dad, I think, just what he's been able to achieve, not just at Master Hire, but his previous roles that he's had, and the support he's always given me. He's just he's my biggest fan. Pushed me to do the international exchange program, to take on the national president role, to all sorts of things there. And then probably the other one would actually be my manager, Dad's business partner, Scott. he's been a master hire now, director of master hire, but for about 30 years, and one of the hardest working and most intelligent people I've ever met. It's incredible how many hats he wears, and just how he's able to to fit it all in. It's incredible. So certainly look up to those guys.
Yeah, I think it's an invaluable tool for young people entering the industry, but also such a great tool for the mentor as well, to see what they know and pass that down to future generations. And I'm sure it was the same with your dad Pete as well when you were growing up, and gave you a very big kickstart into the industry. And I'm sure you've been a mentor to a lot of others. I know I've gotten a lot of help from yourself before I went over to the US, which I really appreciate as well. So I think it's an amazing part of our industry, and very different to a lot of others. Being able to talk to direct competitors and people within your state in the same industry is quite unheard of in other industries. So it's very, very amazing that we can all access each other's knowledge, that's for sure. So Jeremy, we're a part of a very dynamic and evolving industry in regards to, like you said, technology, a growing customer base relying on rental companies, and constant expanding opportunities. Where do you see the future of the equipment rental industry here in Australia going forwards?
Yeah, I think that will be driven by our customers, rather than probably government. So I think the alternative power sources. I know that's a space that a lot of people are working on. A lot of suppliers and that. So I think the emergence of those new technologies. The association. The HRIA Association has some great relationships with the European Association, European rental companies in the US. So I think Europe is often ahead of the curve when it comes to new technology and what they're bringing out there. But it's incredible to see the Australian industry, where we're at with our safety initiatives, our training, our platforms that we have there. So I think we're already, right up there with the global leaders from an industry perspective. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a pretty exciting time. Don't think it'll be too far away till we have drone deliveries for equipment and all sorts of stuff like that. But I think we've got to wait for the customers and see what they want to have work better for them on their job sites.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Australia is, in regards to safety, very far ahead, and I think we can definitely be the leaders. But like you said, watching the overseas is definitely a very valuable resource, and attending HRIA show or getting over to Bauma and things like that. I know Pete, your father, just went over to Germany for that show as well. So it's exciting time to see where our industry is going. Like you said, that customer base growing is going to very much impact where we go going forwards. That's for sure. Jeremy, you've obviously had a lot of amazing accomplishments and accolades throughout your career in the industry, and you're extremely family orientated as well. Today being at your son's futsal tournament here in Brisbane, family seems to be such a, from my perspective, a core culture and attribute to both yourself and Master Hire as a company. With your brother-in-law Ben working in the business, and your father Pete obviously very involved in the industry still after very much retiring. What does family mean to you and Master Hire as a company?
Yeah, look, family is everything. I think with the 100 odd so team members that we have at Master Hire, we treat everyone as family. We have each other's back when when someone's feeling down. A lot of internal support. Dad and Scott, incredible relationships with team members. Knowing kids' birthdays and just doing a lot of nice ad hoc things for team members, treating them as family. So look, it's the equipment industry is often long hours, as you would know. It's often obscure hours. So when you do get to have that downtime with away from work, I think just spending time with family is most important.
No, that's great. Jeremy, how do you define success?
It's probably on a personal level. I think if my family can be proud of who I've become, if they can look up to me, not necessarily want to be me or do what I've done, but if they want to yeah, my kids want to hang out with me on weekends, and and if we're able to do things as a family, I think that's success on a personal front. On a work front, I think success is having a team or customers that rely on you, that want to work with you, work for you. I think that's an amazing achievement and success. So.
Well, Jeremy, thank you very much. I very much admire your dedication, passion towards the equipment rental industry, and obviously your passion with your young family as well. Jeremy, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate you coming down here in Brisbane, and I'm sure this will be a massive episode for takeaways for all listeners across the globe. So, Jeremy, thank you very much.
No worries.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah,
Thank you.
Congratulations. Cheers.